Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great day. It is Wednesday evening. The Fed cut the rates, and everybody, I guess, is excited. The market did turn green. Qs and SPYs went up. Things were looking good. Microsoft took a dip. Nvidia was down a little bit and a few other things, but there's some things, beautiful setups, and a lot of things popping. So we'll go through the market and see what's going on. Here we are. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And let's go ahead. And there is your heat map right there. Microsoft was pretty red. Nvidia down a little. AVGO up. MU was up. I had them on the night note. Amazon, Tesla, Google, Apple. They're all up, looking pretty good. So let's go through the market, see what's going on and what's going to be happening tomorrow. Space was a big theme today, that's for sure. And your SPY is ripping at the end of the day right here, going into the MOC or MOC, FOMC, the Fed cut right here. Look at that. Right at 2 o'clock is when it started. And boom, I actually had Q calls and they did pretty damn well, I must say. And here you go. They ran up pretty big, did pull back, and then went nutty at the end of the day right there. So there you go. And the IWM was also running up there. So finished out pretty strong for the IWM. So things looked pretty good with the rate cuts today. And let's take a look at crypto real quick, see what's going on. Bitcoin's still holding 91 right there. And Solana's at 133. Ripple's at 202. And let's see what else is going on. Your Ethereum's at 3,200 right there. So let's just take a look and see what it looks like real quick. We'll start off with our crypto looks, and Bitcoin's still staying in this bullish channel right here. It's not breaking it. It's continuing its way up and not looking bad right there. And Ethereum getting to that 50 area and trying to get through it. So there you are with that, spiking up a little. And again, staying in that bullish area, staying in that bullish trend, making that way up, looking a lot better. Solana down here. This looks like it's just about to get started now. So like I said, this one doesn't have a steep, but maybe it's going to go off of this. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it and keep you posted and see when it wants to really get ripping there. Ripple was looking great, did pull back right there and coming down a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on Ripple. And Doge was pulling back. So we'll just see what happens tonight into tomorrow with our crypto. We'll look at it again at the end of the show. If it changes, there's your Cardano right there. And here is Stellar, just a little healthy pullback, nothing crazy, I don't think. And there's your OP, which is optimism and a little healthy pullback. So like I said, nothing real crazy right there. And let's go ahead and look at the market, see what's going on. And your SPY Qs, like I said, we're going up, and your IWM. So let's look and see what these other ones are doing, because ONDS was blasting off. Wait, no, ONDS wasn't. ASTS. I'm sorry. I was thinking ASTS. This was blasting off. ASTS Space Mobile right there. ONDS was definitely coming down today. I definitely remember that coming down. So there you go. Started up and came straight down for the most part. And we'll keep an eye on it. Maybe it'll come back down to that 790 area and be a good little bounce right there. So there you go. Laptop travel. We'll keep an eye on this ONDS. And Open Door, that was pulling back as well, back to that trend line, and we'll see what that wants to do in the morning. And then your QMCO was running up today, almost 5%, looking pretty good. And like we've been saying, these quantum and computer hardware ones have been looking pretty decent. RGTI, a nice little pullback though. But your QUBT right there, that had a little bit of pullback. And your QBTS is your D wave pulling back. So your QMCO is pulling up right there. Not exactly sure what was going on with it, but QTUM right here, that's trying to still go up, and that's your Defiance Quantum ETF. And then QSI was just kind of hanging out right there, not doing a whole lot. IONQ was pulling back as well. Okay, could just be some healthy pullbacks. RCAT pulling back just a little bit. And then your Z Space was also pulling back today. No surprise. But like I said, maybe this will be a good one for that tax sell and stuff. And we'll be keeping an eye on it for that. But anyway, there's and everything else with your computer hardware and your quantum ones. And let's keep on cruising. UNH, I know that was cruising right there today, looking pretty good. And look at us getting set back up, guys. I think UNH might be a good one going forward. You might want to keep an eye on that one. And then your Oscar was down a little bit right there, pulling back to the 20. So we'll have to keep an eye on Oscar to see what he's up to. But yeah, UNH looking pretty good. Remember, ABTC was pulling back. It's still back down there in the basement. Didn't get cruising just yet, but it could be that bottom area. We'll see if it wants to level down. And again, you want to wait till the very last pot. You want to know that that thing's going up. Let's put it that way. And Pew right here, still just kind of hanging out down here under the 20. Possibly could get set up. And another one, these are these Trump company ones that you definitely have to wait for. Here's Net Capital. Look at that thing, and all of a sudden it's way down today. So we'll be keeping an eye on that to see if it looks good tomorrow. If it wants to run or definitely pull back, I'm not sure. And PSQH trying to get into this channel. Look at it, looking a little better after them 3 days of pullback. So there you go. And how are you, Janica, and everybody else this evening? So we're just going through the market, checking things out. The rate cut happened 0.25%. And then there you go with that. So that will be 100% right there, I'm sure. Or if it's disappeared, I'm not sure. But yeah, there you go. And now you have your January 28th coming up, and that's saying March all the way to March, and that's saying no change, and they're way up there. The other ones are crawling down after today, and then you have this one, no change, but that one could change, and that is in April. But we called it perfectly. We were getting rate cuts all the way to the end of the year. We saw it happen. Boom, boom, boom. Exactly that, and three of them, and then damn, that was beautiful calls. And yeah, so now I don't think we will get one in January or March. I think possibly April, it's looking like. And after three in a row right there. So that's what it looks like. And now you have your holiday season coming in, and we'll see what's going on. So let's keep on cruising right through and see what's going on with these crypto treasuries. BMNR not looking bad today. Look at that bad boy. Did pull back a little bit right there at the end of the day, but not looking bad at all. It was jumping up. So there you go with BMNR. And of course, SBET right here was up a little bit. Not looking bad right there. And UPXI, just a little pullback. And again, Solana not looking perfect right here. I'm not sure what's going on, but that one's going to need Solana to get ripping again. And it can get cruising back up with the rest of them. So ORBS looking pretty decent to try to get curled up. You can see that. Looks like it finally tried to bottom and trying to get into this channel finally. So like I've been saying, these look like they want to get into a bullish channel right there, and also crypto, obviously, because these will follow suit. And that's ORBS right there. And of course, our FGNX, that was down just a hair, but nothing crazy, just kind of hanging out, and looks like it's leveling out to try to go up to its next level. So there you go. It's just kind of basing out to go up to its next level or try to move. And that's your FGNX right there. And then when Galaxy was moving today, it had run up a little bit. It was looking pretty good there for a while. At the end of the day, pulled back right at the end. But that one was cruising right along. Looks like it wants to continue up. I know Bitcoin, it might have went down right there in the after hours. Not exactly sure, but there you go at GLXY. And let's see what else is going on in our great list right here, because we were talking about ASTS already. And look at that bad boy. You keep an eye on that tomorrow. Not sure if it's going to continue to run up there, but space is a good theme right now, that's for sure. And they could get cruising. So we'll be keeping an eye on this AS. So keep an eye on that one tomorrow, guys. That one could continue up like the rest of the space ones. And that Kodak right here, that one pulled back quite a bit this today. We'll see what it wants to do tomorrow. Maybe it's going to pull all the way back down there into the 890s. I'm not sure. Or it jumps back up tomorrow with a green market. We'll have to see what's going on with KODK, but it did run up yesterday pretty well. And we'll see what it wants to do there. Tomorrow, UMAC right here was pulling back a little bit after some run up. And we'll watch that unusual machine. So you definitely got to lock in the profits on the way up. And Nuclear right here is pulling back a little bit. And we'll see if that gets back to the 20. And then that would probably be a good setup right there. And IMRX, a little bit of pullback here. And like I said, maybe we catch it right there at that 560 area. If it comes down all the way, I'm not sure. It could be trying to bottom out right here. So we'll be keeping an eye on IMRX right there and see what that's up to. And let's keep on cruising right through our list, because Nick's right here was up a little bit. That's the one that Stock Authority had liked. We watched it come down, pop back up. It's in the channel, just kind of hanging out at the moment. We'll see what it wants to do tomorrow, but it's been looking pretty good. And this LITM was looking pretty good going into today, but it did pull back right there. So There you go with LITM. And yeah, it's not looking terrible. Could have a little bit of pullback on that one. And that NIXX right here is getting into the channel, trying to run up. So there you go with them too. And let's see, what are we looking at with IVF? This thing was a recent reverse splitter, trying to get into the right spot, trying to curl up right there. Had some nice pullback. We'll see. We'll watch it this week, possibly into next week. It seems like it's trying to curl up and get through and get set up right here. Maybe that's a little dip and rip look for IVF. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that tomorrow. So Tech was looking good today, and check that out. So there you go. It's a Tech. Ben had interviewed some guy that went there and checked out the company or something. I was listening to it. And so there you go. Tech definitely looking pretty hot right there. So I would say that you want to keep your eye on. And that is SNES. If you don't know the stock ticker, HTZ right here. Good old Hertz. And it is running up there. Remember, we said it was looking pretty good to get set up. So there you go with your HTZ. And that looks like it could continue its way up. So that was probably a good one the other day when we were talking about it down here, running up now and looking pretty decent to try to continue its way up. And of course, Chipotle right here, just hanging out, but it looks like it's trying to curl up to get cruising. And this one could be a really good one, guys. So Chipotle could get really cruising up there, and it's been down pretty much all year for the most part. So that one could start to fly at the end. And how about our Eli Lilly running back up? I guess you didn't want to short it down today. We were late to the party on that because now it looks like it's going to run back up. So maybe we're going to take it for a ride back up real quick on Eli Lilly. We'll pay attention to it and actually see which way it really wants to go here. And here you go with your Cracker Barrel, and it's trying to revive itself off this bottom line right here. Could be the bottom, and then you try to get curled up, but I don't think so. It's looking, I mean, it's not perfect, but we're trying to get curled up here. Let's put it that way. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. For Cracker Barrel, let's just say Troost, Gordon, Hackett, and Piper Sandler cut price targets on Cracker Barrel today, with one as low as $25, signaling a reset in expectations after the company's outlook reduction right there. So, like I said, it was down yesterday. It bounced up a little today, but nothing crazy. And we'll keep an eye on that one. And there you go with the old Cracker Barrel, and we'll see what it's up to tomorrow, see if they can get it together. And they probably won't with that CEO. Here's Lulu looking a lot better today, I must say. And they get these nice little dipping and rip looks right here. So Lulu going into its earnings tomorrow and not looking bad. So we'll see what Lulu does. I'm not sure if they have earnings before or after the market. I have no idea. But they definitely have earnings tomorrow for Lulu, and you can keep an eye on that, especially if you do like them earnings plays right there. And there's your boil, and that's your natural gas. We were talking about it as the coldness comes in, and just let this bad boy get set up right now. It jumped way up, pulled way back, and now it's just getting set up. And here you go with Gush, and that's trying to get set up as well off this trend line, and that should try to roll off the MACD. So Gush could be a good one right there. So keep an eye on that. This RBNE wasn't looking too bad earlier. I don't know. It didn't close so perfect right there. Let me see. Yeah, it wasn't looking too bad earlier, but it didn't close that great. So we'll have to see. You know, we like to find the pops on that RBNE one. That's that Robin Energy right there. I mean, it's not terrible. I'll look at it tomorrow, see if it can get cruising. And here's that TMDE. It was up a little bit. Now it's pulling back. So we'll have to take a look at that and see what it wants to do as well. That's another oil and gas one right there. So there you go with TMDE and RBNE. And we haven't looked at them in a little while. And let's look at Plug right here, PLUG. And that looks pretty good to continue to get set up. So you can keep an eye on good old Plug Power. It should continue to plug along and go on up right there in that channel towards the 50, which is at what, 270 something. You're at 224. And that's PLUG, good old Plug Power right there. And QuantumScape QS. That thing's down on that trend line right there. It was pulling back. It's probably trying to fight with that 20 right there. You should get QuantumScape to get set up pretty soon, I would say. I mean, it looks like a relatively good setup right there. I would say that you just want to wait and be patient, find that bottom. You have your good trend line, your support at like 1208 down there. You could pull back a little under it, but definitely watch this thing as the 20s kind of get on it, and you could bounce off of there. So that has a pretty decent look there for QS QuantumScape. And how about rocket companies right here, Zach? And it is rolling off that MACD just as we had talked about, and trying to go back up just as we had talked about. So there you go. I think we were pretty dead on the money with RKT right there, and I'm sure Zach's pretty happy with that one. And let's see, Home Depot. Look at this thing. It was trying to run back up. It was today. Yesterday was that day that it went nutty, and today it's trying to run back up, and it still looks pretty decent. I mean, check out this thing. Today it was down in the morning, and at 2 o'clock it started to run like everything else. In the right as the Fed cut was coming in. And of course, Lowe's right here is up as well. And that one looks even better than Home Depot. So I would say check out Home Depot and Lowe's right there. They look really good for tomorrow and try to continue their way up. And a lot of action in SPAC stocks, that is for sure. End of the year, crazy parabolic moves, and expect more China plays, which will be huge pump and dumps. Ride the pump, Laptop Travel said. Absolutely right there. So give us some good ones that you like. I know you posted something with that steakhouse or whatever, or stakeholder. What the heck is it? STKH. Isn't that what you wrote down up there? STKH, yeah. That's what I thought you wrote. And that's at Stakeholder Foods. This is like that printed fish or whatever. And it is setting up right there, looking pretty good. So keep an eye on that one. The one we were talking about yesterday, guys, check this out. We were even said it looked real good. I even said this on the Laptop Travel list. Wasn't it GRAM? Where the hell was it? Hold on. Oh, it's Grand. That's a GRAN. Look at that thing, guys. That's what that did today. So there you go. It started out pretty slow, and then boom, it got cruising right there and ran up pretty big. It was higher than 35% right there. It got up to what, like 380s. It's in the 320s, 319 now. So there you go with GRAN. And that was another one that we gave you last night on the Laptop Travel list. And so there you go. Yeah, stakeholder. There you are. Printed fish, folks. It's a moneymaker, and Grand. That's what it was. So there you go with them, guys. And let's keep on cruising right through. We were looking at Home Depot and Lowe's, and LDI was up. And I told you this one was looking pretty strong, and this one looks pretty good with the rate cuts today. So you keep an eye on that. And how about that house was pulling back? But honestly, it's been up at the top for a while. I think LDI might be a better run right now. KVU is looking really good, the Tylenol maker, and that could continue to run up there. So keep an eye on good old KVU, the Tylenol maker right there. You can check that out, and it looks pretty strong. Rolling off the MACD, rolling up right there and looking pretty good. So there you go with that. And of course, our rocket lab right here was rolling, and anything with aerospace and defense and space, they were cruising today. So you can keep an eye on all them. Rocket Lab could possibly be a momentum play in the morning, depending if the space team wants to continue to kick into another day right there and still fly up. And that FIG right here, that was up a little bit today, 2%, and still continuing its way up. And Michael Anthony and Luis Rodriguez both liked it. And this Carmen, this was up good. And that looks pretty set up. So you might want to keep an eye on that bad boy right there. KRMN looking really good. That could continue to run up there tomorrow. Has that look like it wants to anyway. And let's see right here. Look at that thing. That looks like it could try to get towards the 50 at $72. It's at 67. So keep an eye on Carman right there. Carman Holdings. And that's another aerospace and defense one. So there you go. And they were all setting up before. We should have known. And how about your critical metals right here pulling back? And it was running up a little today. And again, today was the aerospace and defense and the jets and stuff like that, whatever the hell they are. That was what it was. The space ones, that's what it's called, space. And yeah, them ones wanted to fly today, and they certainly were. This circle right here was pulling back a little bit, nothing real crazy, but C1's not looking bad right there, guys. I know yesterday they said that they weren't gonna, well, I don't know what the heck they even really said, but Ben was saying that they some other group came in and wants them to get more money for their buyout, and it's not going to happen immediately, but that still looks pretty good. It looks like something's happening in the right direction right there for CWAN. And then Rich Tech Robotics down a little bit right there. Didn't Serve have its earnings or something, or was that before? No, that was before. Never mind. Serve, there you go. So didn't they have news come out maybe perhaps today? Yeah, that's what it was at the end of the day. Yeah, they expanded the DC area. That's what it was. I know we were talking about it in the Discord in the after hours, so that's when that was. SERV, it is pulling back even with the expansion in the DC area right there. And what else do we have going on our list right here? Because Celius Holdings looking pretty good right there, and you can keep an eye on that. That's continuing to set up CELH and looks pretty nice. And that Elf Beauty wasn't too bad. And look at this thing getting set up right there. Remember, Ulta Beauty was jumped up Elf its earnings up there. And that I wouldn't chase that. I think Elf may be a better one around Christmas time right now anyway. And TTD right here, good old trade desk. I was trying to set up a little healthy pullback. We know that they like to pull back and then get ripping right there. So I would keep an eye on that TTD in the next few days and see what it wants to do. And Snapchat was just kind of hanging out there, hitting the 20 right there. So that should try to get set up relatively soon. And this IREN, this was running up there yesterday, if you remember correctly. This was popping up there and looking good yesterday. As you remember, I was saying to get them earnings, the options on it, and then it was pulling back there today. So yesterday was a good day for that one. So you kind of had to be in and out on that, that's for sure. And that's IREN. And let's see what else is going on right here. What else did I? Oh, you have to look at this one right now. Paramount and Netflix and all these guys, which we'll look at Netflix, but check out Paramount trying to crawl up right here and not looking bad. So we'll keep an eye on that. And what is it? Warner Brothers? Is that WBD right there? It's still running up. Everybody's fighting over the hot chick right there. So of course it's running. And Netflix still pulling back. Wow, 92. Look at that. Holy cow, that one got smoked right there. And Paramount today sent a letter to Warner Brothers shareholders asserting it's fully financed. $30 per share, all cash bid is superior to Netflix's deal, and saying it has filed HSR and begun EU pre-notification escalating its hostile challenge to Netflix's Warner Brothers acquisition. Holy cow right there, guys. How wild is that getting? I guess Paramount and Netflix really don't like each other. So, yeah, they just sent the letter right there. And it says the same thing, highlighting Ellison, Redbird, equity, backstop, and 54 billion debt commitments, and claiming lower regulatory risk than Netflix's deal. So, holy cow, guys. How crazy is that? These guys are really going toe to toe. Paramount and Netflix over the hot chick who is Warner Brothers right there. Interesting. Anyway, that's what you have going on in your entertainment industry today. I mean, that's the best entertainment industry news you could ever see, I think. Pretty wild shit happening right there, I must admit. Anyway, we'll keep continuing, but that's something you want to keep your eyes on for sure. And CHR, that cheer, and you're happy with RKT. There you go. Your rocket companies is looking good right there, Zach. And CHR, that cheer holdings. And this is a China small cap one that could fit that bill. Laptop travel that could get rolling. So you might want to keep an eye on this thing. It's down there. Just hope that they don't pull the old reverse split before it happens. That's the only thing you got to watch out for. And but it is looking pretty good. Maybe it gets running. This thing right here. Remember, we mentioned this yesterday, guys. JZXN. And we mentioned it yesterday. It started flying in the after hours. Look what happened. Reverse stock split, reduced float, sparking speculative after hours buy surge right there. And it's a 1 for 40 reverse split effective tomorrow. And it slashed the outstanding shares from about 50.2 million to roughly 1.3 million, creating a nano float environment ripe for volatility. This technical change aimed at meeting Nasdaq's $1 minimum required price drew aggressive retail trader interest, immediately amplified by high volume exceeding 9 million shares, far above trading, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not reading the rest of that. It's too much to read for me. But anyway, yeah, remember we were talking about this? I said, wait for the reverse split. I guess everybody just jumped in it right in the after hours. They weren't even waiting right there. Reverse splits tomorrow, but I guess it's just going to continue to cruise up. So I guess it was a safe one to get into even before it does. And wow, look at that. So laptop travel and crew, I'd be watching this thing tomorrow. Although they can't necessarily reverse split until 9:30 when the market opens. So I don't know if this could actually run at 4 a.m. to be completely honest. I'm not sure, laptop travel. You'll have to look at it. Check it out and see what happens. If maybe it runs like this into the pennies and then it reverse splits at 9:30. I have no idea, to be completely honest. I really don't know how that would actually work right there, laptop travel. So maybe you have better insight than I do. I don't know. And but yeah, just letting you guys know that it is reverse splitting. We talked about it yesterday. Remember, I brought it up when I brought up the old reverse splits on here down there, and I said we got to watch this thing because they are ripping. Well, this one decided to rip right in the after hours, so that's pretty impressive, guys. So we might want to be keeping an eye on this JZXN. Write it down. Keep it on your list for tomorrow. It should be an interesting one. Let's put it that way. So there you go with JZXN. And let's look at a couple other ones somebody asked to look at. AEMD. That looks like it was up today. Not too bad right there. It looks like it's trying to crawl off the MACD and get rolling. That does actually look pretty good right there. AEMD. I like that look. And what else? CNSP right here is CNS Pharmaceuticals, and this was up a little bit today, and that could continue to run. That one could look good in the morning there, laptop travel. So keep an eye on CNSP. Look at that Pac-Man look right there. So you do have that good look going for you. And let's see what DRMA is doing, Thermata Therapeutics. And this one was just kind of hanging out right there. Let me take a better look at it. And that's DRMA. And let's see if it's going to cause any drama in the market. I don't know. It's hanging out on the 20. It could get curled up. I'd have to look at that one tomorrow. And let's see what else is Seats up to. SEAT, Vivid Seats, and internet content one. And let's see if this one's going to get out of its seat and take a run. It got out of its seat and it's starting to curl up. It is looking pretty good there in the after hours, it looks like. But it does look good on the charts. And yeah, I would say keep an eye on Vivid Seats. These seats could get bright and expensive right there. So what is that one up to? That's setting up SEAT. I can't even spell. It's Seat. SEAT. If I can't spell seat, there's something wrong with me, but I clearly can't unless I look at it. But anyway, I think that's how you spell seat, right? Yeah, it's got to be Vivid Seats. That's how I'd spell it. Seat right there. S and then eat. It's not that hard, but somehow it's hard for me. And there you go for Vivid Seats, but that is looking pretty good going into tomorrow. I must say that does look nice right there. And let's see what SHPH is doing. Shuttle Pharmaceutical Holdings, another drug manufacturer right here, getting into that channel. That could try to run up. It looks like it was down a little in the after hours, but not looking terrible, I must say. We'll see what it wants to do there tomorrow. And let's see that GRAN. That was up big time today. You can look at it tomorrow. Laptop travel, GRAN. Look at that tomorrow, but in the morning. But that was a great call you had on your list last night, and we definitely marked it out and said it looked like it was the best one. So it was up over 30%. It was up pretty big, actually. And HUBC right here is that Hub Cybersecurity in Israel. And that looks like it was pulling back pretty good today. Let's just take a look and see if it wants to have that dip and rip look. Hold on, HUBC. We are familiar with it. I might have to keep that on the watch list right there to see if it does want to bounce up. Keep an eye on this tomorrow, HUBC, and I'll keep an eye on that HUBC for a bounce right there. Hold on, let me write that down. Yeah, I definitely keep an eye on that one. That one could have a bounce kind of look. And what's AKAN up to right here? ACAN or something like that. Aconda Corp. And that's been pulling back right there. It's in the basement, and that could try to get turned around relatively soon. So AKAN, we'll have to keep an eye on that one too. You can see it looks like it wants to roll off that MACD and start cruising. So that one we can keep an eye on. HUBC, I'll look at AKAN. I'll jot them down over here. If I don't, I'll forget to do it. And there you go. So we'll definitely look at them in the morning, see what they're up to. And there you go. That is what's happening with that list. And we have to go through our Jolie's jams and, of course, our laptop travel list. Laptop travel, I think, said he had like 80 of them tonight. And then he downsized them down to what that list looks like. So if you're looking at the night list, and if you're not sure what the heck we're even looking at, I sent out the list every night right here, so you can see I handwrite it, and then I take a picture of it and I shoot it out on X and Stock Twits, so you can easily print it out yourself and go along each night and then mark down which ones you like. So if you didn't do that and you want to get a piece of paper and a pencil and take notes, you should, because the whole entire show picks out everything throughout the market. And here comes your laptop travel list, and there's a bunch of good ones on there. So there you go. So I'll give you a minute, and we'll get started with our Jolie's jams real quick and check them out, see what's going on with our Rhythm, Blink, Sezzle, Sterling, Rivian, and Symbiotic right now. That could be a song right there. Your Jolie's jams, rhythm, rhythm, blink, sezzle, Sterling, rhythm, Rivian, and Simba. I'm sure you could put it in some kind of order. I'm sure if you just input it in the chat GPT, it would probably come up with something good as like a jingle or something, but for your Jolie's jams. So there you go. Laptop travel and Luis Rodriguez. But anyway, let's look at rhythm and see what's going on with RYM. Wow, that took a nice little dip today. I didn't even notice that, to be honest with you. And that did pull back there. Blink had been pulling back, and we knew that was coming down. And the Jolie's jams are actually pulling back a little bit. Sezzle, on the other hand, looking really good, and we might want to keep an eye on good old Sezzle, because that is definitely setting up and getting running up there. We notice likes to get sizzling pretty well, so I would keep an eye, watch for any dips on SEZL. And then your Sterling right here looks like it's finally getting set up. I would say keep an eye on this one tomorrow. We notice loves to run, and it likes to run pretty big as well. So there you go. It is getting set up, curling through. So Sterling could have one of the big old run-ups tomorrow, guys. So definitely keep an eye out for that there. And let's see what's going on with our Rivian and Symbiotic right here. Here you go with Rivian. It's touching that resistance and hasn't been able to break through it, and I don't think it's going to just at the moment. So we'll see if it wants to set up at the tomorrow or next week, but it could pull back right there. And your Symbiotics down and pulling back. It was running up there yesterday, but a little healthy pullback right there. And there you go with your Jolie's jams, and we'll be keeping an eye on them. And that's your Rhythm, Blink, Sezzle, Sterling, Rivian, and Symbiotic right there. And of course, here's your laptop travel list. So I'll just cruise right through them like I did the last few nights, because there are a bunch of them. I haven't looked at them at all. So me and you are going to look at them together for the first time. I'm sure Laptop Travel looks at them, so he knows what they look like, but I have no idea. We'll try to pick out the GRAN, which is a grand idea, because look at that thing. And guys, this thing ran from today 249 up to 390 right there, and it didn't even do it. You had plenty of time. It didn't happen until after 11 a.m. It started to move a little in the 260s and at 10:30. But yeah, it got cruising up there by like 215 area. It was running pretty big. I did see that bad boy. We talked about it last night, and that was a grand present right there for you guys. So there you go. And Laptop Travel said to keep your eyes on this STKH right here, good old stakeholder. And he says that one should be popping up there tomorrow. So we'll be keeping an eye on that one right there. STKH. It does have a crazy look. It was spiking up today. I would definitely keep an eye on it. I have it written down on my list. So there you go. And let's go ahead and cruise right through the laptop travel list and see what's going on. If we can find anything else like that GRAN today. Hey, MS, how about that though, guys? I mean, we went through last night. I think there was more last night. Perhaps, I don't even know. Maybe not. No, I think you have more tonight. Actually, Laptop Travel. I thought there was more last night, but I was gonna say we still went through a bunch of them on Laptop Travel's list and picked out the one that ran like almost 50% plus today. It's still up over 30% right now. So Anyway, here we go at AMST, and that is AIM site, something like that. I don't know what the heck it's even called, but look at that thing crawling up, looking pretty good right there. So, like I said, we're just gonna roll right through these because there's like a good 20 plus probably. And here we go. AUUD, we're familiar with this one. That one is crawling up. Wow, that does look really good right there, Laptop Travel. I do like that one. You said you looked at all these guys and wanted to go through them all. AWX Avalon Holdings right here, looking pretty decent as well. Might have pulled back in the after hours. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, it did pull back there in the after hours, as a matter of fact. So we'll keep that on the side, and that could have a dip and rip look coming up. BV right here, good old BioVia, and this one is in that channel right there with that Pac-Man look, and that could just continue to hop around in there, or it could try to run up anytime soon. So keep an eye on that. And here's your BNBX BNB Plus Corp. This is way down. Look at this thing. And that is trying to crawl up. Oh, that was back in June. And so here you go. It is trying to hit that 50. If it could break through that, it would get running right there for BNBX and BNZI. We are familiar with Banzai, whatever it's called, International or something. This one looks pretty good, guys. You might want to keep an eye on that one, BNZI. And what about BTTC right here? We'll see what that's doing this evening. And that is Black Titan Corp. I don't even know if we've ever looked at it. I think we did, actually. I think it was on your list not long ago, BTTC, but I'm not familiar with this thing. It does look like it's trying to stay in that channel right there, and it has a heck of a big channel. Look at that thing. Your 50's like out of control up here. Your 200's above it, but there's your 50 at like 430 something. You're in 330s. And it could just run up to that top right there, 374 area, but that's your BTTC. And it's looking pretty decent to try to stay in that channel and run up a little bit. And CRWS Crown Crafts right here, that's getting set up good. You can see these guys getting ready to rock and roll and it crawling up. So I could say that one's looking pretty good right there for CRWS. EDUC, Educational Development, that's a US one, touching down at its support lines right down here. You can see that. And we'll see if it can get bouncing off there for EDUC. It's not exactly, I mean, it could get ready at any moment. It just looks like it has a little bit of time that it could hop around there. And how about Fuse Machines? And this one had taken a huge dip back there, as you can see in October, and it's still down, but now it's getting into that channel finally and wants to run up. So, yeah, you're seeing a lot of these getting into that bullish channel, getting into that 20 area where they need to be if they want to try to even have a chance of running up. You're seeing crypto do it as well. You're seeing things like this do it and all kinds of different ones. So HAO right here, that one is a China small cap one, and that does look pretty good there. Laptop Travel, look at that thing crawling up. And again, look at these things in these channels right here, trying to get out and trying to boost their way up a little bit higher. And IMNN right there, Immunion, something like that. I don't even know how to say this thing. It's a biotech company. That's running up pretty good. I'm surprised it didn't even hit the 50 right there today. It looks pretty decent. See if it can keep that momentum in the morning, because that does look pretty good right there for IMNN. I don't even know how to say the name of that. What is it? Immunion Inc., something like that. I don't really know. You guys know I can't read anything. So anyway, here you go at Locify Limited, which is LCFY. And this thing was trying to run up there today. If it can break through that resistance right there, 4 hours, it'll definitely get cruising, no doubt about it. For LCFY and LGCL is Lucas GC. And let me see what that's up to. That's a China one in that channel over to 20 getting crawled up. So that could easily run up as well right there. And Loan, LOAN, Manhattan Bridge Capital. We had looked at this not long ago, and that's in that channel, not looking too bad. LSTA, I believe it is. Lista, something therapeutic. This thing jumps around a lot, guys. You might want to look at this thing because it just spikes up and down every single day and runs pretty well. And it looks like it wants to continue its way up finally right here. So that could definitely be a good one right there, Laptop Travel. And how about that live wire right here? And that thing does look pretty good. That looks like it might become a live wire right there and get cruising. Look at that thing in the right spot and curling up right now. LVWR, that one does look pretty decent. And how about Maxon Solar, who's running up today? Didn't they have their earnings, or was that yesterday, or am I crazy? I remember. Didn't I write that down for earnings today? I swore I did. I had to have, right? Then, or was that yesterday? Maybe that was yesterday. I don't even know. All the days blend together now. Yeah, it was on for today, I thought, for Maxon. Didn't they didn't have their earnings today? I swore I wrote it down. Maybe they just had it written there on StockTwits. I don't know. I have no idea, guys. You know that. Anyway, I just know I do shows and we talk about stuff. And but the earnings say it's out here. So I had it written down because I think StockTwits had it down there today. But anyway, there's MAXN and it is running up there. I know we were looking at it, not looking bad. And how about ONCO right here? Onco Enix or something. And let's see, that one is a biotech company in that channel. We'll see what that one wants to do tomorrow. It looks like it's running up right there in the after hours, as a matter of fact. It's spiking around and staying in that channel. And we'll see what it does. NOXBR, that one is Oxbridge right there. That one's staying in that channel and not looking too bad for good old Oxbridge, OXBR. So you can see it right there in that channel, not looking bad for us. And let's see, RCON, Recon Technology. That doesn't look bad. That looks like it could get curling up. I'll put a dot next to that. So you got a couple good ones right there that could really run up tomorrow. This is that Red Hill right here, RDHL. And this is a biofarm in Israel. Yeah, this one we know. And that looks really good too. So I'm going to dot that one, RDHL. And then Reverb, or isn't it like Revelation or something? This thing, REVB or something like that. Revelation Biosciences. Look at that, guys. I don't know anything else, but I can tell you what these stupid stock tickers are. I mean, it's $1.09 stock. Who the hell would know that? And I should go on a quiz show. They could ask me all kinds of shit. I won't know anything. But then they get to this part of the test, and I'll do really well. What is REVB? And I'll be like, isn't that like Revelation something? They'll be like, how the hell do you even know that? Like, that's bizarre. You can't remember anything else, but you can know that. I don't know, guys. Kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, there you go for Revelation. SKBL, and that's hitting the 50 right there. It's looking all right. SKBL, I don't know what this one is, to be honest, which is Skyline Builders. We've looked at that. Looks real good. Laptop Travel, I give you that one. I would say we got to mark that one down right there. So there are some really good ones on this list. UNHG. And I'll tell you which ones I think might be best. UNHG right here looks like it could be jumping around. That's that United States gas one. And let's see what it's up to right here. We were talking about UNG, yeah, United States Natural Gas. And that one could definitely get bumping. So actually, with all the cold weather and all that in wintertime, we know that. So XHG is that China exchange one. And it's not a China exchange. It's just called exchange, and it's in China. I just kind of said that weird. And it's not a new exchange in China. Can you imagine? Maybe it is. That's an insurance broker. That looks really good right there. Laptop Travel for XHG. Interesting right there. And then you have your, I don't even know what it says. I think, oh yeah, XXII, 22nd Century Group. This one, the tobacco company, and that is cruising up there slowly but surely. And JZXN is on your overnight watch list, and it does get suspended until Nasdaq releases trading on the reverse split. That's what I thought. So it can't open until 9:30 tomorrow, actually, for JZXN. So you won't be trading it at 4 a.m. That's what I would have assumed, but I really had no idea. That would have been my best guess, is that it didn't open until 9:30. That's what I said, but I really had no idea. Then I thought, hold on, they have 4 a.m. trading hours now. Maybe it does open up at that. So I really didn't know. That's why I asked. So there you go. Laptop Travel. He knows these things. Anyway, here we go. That's XXII 22nd Century Group. And like I said, tobacco, they do something in the cannabis industry. At least they used to. I know that. And YIBO, Planet Image right here. That looks pretty decent, as a matter of fact. And there you go. Some pretty good ones right there. His scanner flagged 78 tickers Tuesday night and 71 tonight. And now he's hand screening these lists to cherry pick some of his favorite ones right there. And I'll tell you some good ones. So if you want to jot them down that we just went through that just jumped out at me. And of course, there's a bunch of them, but AUUD right there, BNZI, CRWS, and Recon, that RCON, Red Hill RDHL, and Sky Builders, SKBL, and that XHG right there is an exchange. And it's not a new exchange in China. It's just a China stock ticker that's called Exchange. And so there you go, right? Exchange, yeah, Exchange Tech Inc. ADR. There you go. And there you are with your laptop travel list right there, looking pretty good. Let's see what our news looks like. We'll go through and see what our SPY and our Mag 7 and all them guys. We looked at the SPY at the beginning, but we'll look at it again for those of you just tuning in here. Good evening. And we are going through the market, seeing what's going on, the nice reaction to the PAL and the rate cuts right there. And we already went through, and I doubt there'll be another rate cut according to the poly market at the moment until at least April. So I don't think the next 3 months we're going to see one. But the last 3 months, we've seen one each month. Actually, they didn't have one. Which month was short? Hold on. September, October. Which month they skipped? Didn't they skip 1 month or something? No, they skipped November. That's what they did. So they did it. They did it December, October, and September. That's what they did. September, October, and December. That was hard for me to figure out. Holy cow. Anyway, so yeah, that's what they did with the rate cuts. And we had called that before the government shutdown even happened, that it was going to be rate cut, rate cut, rate cut. They wouldn't even have a choice right there. And basically what Powell had said is basically what I told you guys, based on all the not having any kind of data, and when whatever data they do have, they don't really have much of a choice. So how'd you like that prediction there? So anyway, there you go. And let's see what the rest of this market is doing. Like I said, our big caps, them guys, and everybody else right here. And if you didn't see, I actually pinned the presidential election, the what is it, the popular vote. So if you've never seen that video, go check that out real quick, and when we're done the show, and watch that thing. And I watched it again the other night, and I was like, damn, that was pretty impressive right there. Just go and watch what I did with the popular vote, guys. I mean, it wasn't, I don't think anybody on the planet did what we did. And I called the election for well over 3 months that it would be one of the biggest landslides. And then I told you the popular vote that day, Trump would win 100%. And it's actually in a video. You can go and watch it. It's pinned on my X account. So if you want to check it out, check that out. That's pretty good stuff right there. Talk about predicting the markets with poly market charts and just seeing what's happening right there. So not only do we call 100%ers like at ease, I call the elections and stuff. And I called the actual Trump assassination attempt days before that happened too. So pretty wild stuff what the charts can tell you. And they tell you a lot of things. We've called out companies that were going to go bankrupt before. What was that one company, Big Lots or something? Remember them? They're not around anymore, are they? LOT, was that what it was? Lots? Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't that. Was it Big? Wasn't it Big? Yeah, it had to have been Big. And they're not around. Remember, we called that out. I probably went to the OTC unless they're out of business completely. I don't remember. Didn't they get bought out by somebody, Big Lots, or go private? I kind of forget now. But anyway, we do all that fun stuff here. So thanks for tuning in and joining. And here we go. Let's go ahead and check out the SPY and all them guys and see what they're going to be doing tomorrow. The big caps. You can see your SPY finished pretty strong. It did come down in the after hours. I think that was just a little reaction. I do think your SPY and your Qs are going to be up early in the morning right there, and probably your Mag 7 as well. So let's take a look and see, because Apple was cruising back up and it looks pretty good, and it is probably going to be looking pretty good in the morning. I would imagine Amazon was cruising back up, and Amazon looks really good right there. It looks one of the better ones right now to keep on cruising up. And then Google, that actually trying to bounce up. Remember, it took a little dip there, and there you go. Now it's trying to rip up. So, as I was saying before, I thought it would get cruising up and try to run back up into its all-time highs, and then it took a little bit of a dip, but that was probably a great opportunity as usual. And that is your Google. And then Meta had taken a dip down. Maybe you come down to your 20 area. I'm not exactly sure if you even do right there. Has that look like that could try to bottom out? So there you go. And yeah, we should start using the Kalshi as well, because that one you can actually use in the US, right? You can use Kalshi. I just happen to always use Polymarket just because it was the first one I had ever seen. Maybe I'll start popping Kalshi up and doing that one as well. And we'll keep an eye on things. But there you are with Meta, just a little pullback today. But like I said, could be bottoming out right there to get reversed around. And let's see, Microsoft. Let's see what that's doing right here. That pulled back pretty well today, actually. Microsoft dipped down pretty big. I don't even know what happened to it, but it was looking pretty decent. And then all of a sudden it went down today. A bipartisan group of state attorneys general sent a letter Wednesday to Microsoft and other tech giants warning of AI chatbot risks and urging independent audits and stronger safeguards, pressuring the sector and coinciding with a -3 drop in Microsoft shares. Um, Oh, there you go. Some AI chatbots. The risk of AI chatbot. I mean, everything is AI. Everything right now is kind of bizarre and crazy. So Microsoft dipped and no one else really did. I don't really even understand what happened right there, but someone else tried to make sense of that. I don't really get it, but you guys can try to figure it out. And Nvidia did pull back a little bit today. I'll tell you what, though, it looks pretty strong even with that dip in the after hours. You're sitting right on that trend line. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. We'll have to look at it. And then Reuters, how do you say this? Reuters, they reported that ByteDance and Alibaba, whatever the hell it's called, are seeking large orders of NVIDIA's H200 chips following U.S. export approval, contingent on Beijing's green light, as regulators asked firms to assess what? Regulators asked firms to assess H200 demand Wednesday per the information. So who the hell knows what's going on with all this stuff, guys? I have no idea. We have no idea. But like I said, that could easily bounce tomorrow. It's still over the MACD, and it's still been holding up pretty strong. So it could absolutely bounce right there. We'll keep an eye on that in the morning. And how about Tesla was cruising up a little bit today, looking pretty decent right there. And there you go with good old TSLA, good old Tesla. So there you are with your Mag 7, and here you are with AMC. It was pulling back today. It looks like it wants to come down a little more. GameStop pulling back a little bit after them earnings, and we'll let it pull back, and then we'll see if it wants to get set up. But Chewy, apparently they did pretty well at their earnings this morning. It was up early this morning. I know that. It was running around. Here you go. They had their earnings before. It was right there before the market opened. So then it had pulled back right there. It ran up at the end of the day. But there you go. At Chewy, they reported something. Both they beat their EPS and their net sales. Let's put it that way. So, and lighter than expected guidance, and that's what happened with them. AMC dilution approved. So, be careful, Deleted said. So thank you for that info right there, Mr. Deleted. And let's see. I don't see anything right there, but I don't doubt it. Let's put it that way. It looks like it's dipping down. That's for sure. So I wouldn't mess with that at the moment. And like I said, at GameStop pulling back. Chewy up a little, was up anyway, and Unity a little run up early this morning, but could be pulling back. It's up at the top. Just be careful. We'll see what it wants to do. We talked about Netflix being down. It's at 92 right now, so Holy cow, 550 million, huh? Wow, that's pretty wild. They're deleted. And so yeah, Netflix. Look at that deleted. Check out Netflix right there. Holy cow, with Netflix, that's pretty rough. And that is pulling back. And of course, Paramount and is trying to take over Warner Brothers, I guess. And like I said, it's a hostile takeover over here. We should just let we should have a Netflix special or something, or make it a Warner Brothers special, and let like the CEO of Netflix and the CEO of Paramount, because I have no idea who the CEOs of either of them companies are, to be completely honest with you. Just have like a fight, like a match where they fight it out, and whoever wins gets to buy the company, and have it hosted on Warner Brothers. That would draw some huge money for Warner Brothers. So whoever wins, they'd get that money, because they'd take Warner Brothers over, and then get that big paycheck right there. That would be an interesting one right there. And I bet a lot of people would tune in. I tell you what, I don't even know who them people are. We should probably look it up. Tell me who's the CEOs of Netflix and Paramount. We got to get that started over there to see if they can just fight it out, like, for real. Here, I'll Google it. We got to look now, guys. We got to look on Google. Hold on. CEO of, who did I say? Paramount. Yeah, Paramount Skydance is what that's called. Dave. Oh, that's Ellison. That's right. He's the CEO of them. So him. Who's Netflix's CEO? I really have no idea. And Netflix. Let's see. Who is their CEO? Paramount Netflix. Definitely not that, but Netflix. Oh, Ted, isn't that his name? Ted Say. Oh, there you go. Oh, that would be a good one right there. That looks like they would be pretty equal. I think that should be a good one. CEO title fight right there. Let's fucking go, Zach. Well, I hear it. Hey, how about that, guys? I say Ted. Let me write their names down, because I'm gonna forget in about 2 seconds, and I'm gonna want to reference this. Ted. Hold on. I can't even read my writing. Damn. I did know his name was Ted, though. I remember that. Sarandos, Ted Sardanos, or something like that. Something. And then David Ellison. There we go. We got to get these guys in the ring. Start tweeting these guys. Tag me on it, and let's do it. Netflix will be great buy for 2026. I agree. And then, yeah, here's our chairman, CEO of Paramount. That's David Ellison right there. That's our CEO, Ted. And this is Warner. Oh, wait, we got all three players right here. This guy's going to host the event, and he's David Zaslav or something like that. So he's going to be the host. And then these two are going to go out. Who's going to win out of these two? I mean, David Ellison looks much younger than Ted. But Ted looks like he might be able to throw it. But this dude looks like he's pretty ripped, I must say. David Ellison. Is that the dude that like takes really good care of himself or something, and like tries to like make like his or is that like a biotech guy? I don't even know. That one guy that like makes like biohacks his like age or whatever. That's what that dude looks like. But anyway, I'm gonna put money on David Ellison for this fight. And I don't know where we're gonna bet on this. Possibly Kalshi, I'm gonna guess. So we have to somehow get David Ellison and Ted Sarandos to battle it out for real, like a real fight. No bullshit. I don't even know. Should we wear gloves or anything, or just go like hardcore, like MMA style, and put them in an octagon and just see who submits first or whatever happens. So Netflix has two CEOs, Ted overseeing content creative, and then Greg Peters. Oh shit. Then I think David Ellison might be in trouble. We got to check out and see what this other dude looks like. Hold on. Who are they going to put in the ring? They can only put one. So now we got to look at this dude, Greg Peters. Oh, he's not Paramount. He's just Netflix. I don't know why. Oh man, no. Oh, well, Greg Peters right there. He might have a shot at this dude, David Ellison. All right, then we got to have Dave. That'll be a fair one then. So Ted, you're gonna have to get scratched for this one. I think you're the bigger CEO, but I think Ted is gonna have to sit that out. He might be a little too old. I think Greg Peters definitely is a better fit for David Ellison, and I think our ratings will be a little bit higher too. So I think that we'll make more money if we have Greg Peters instead of Ted, and Ted can be I don't know what Ted can be. He can be a scorecore guy or something. I have no. We gotta get hot chicks for that. We definitely can't have Ted doing that. Ted can just hang out and watch. He's a pretty wealthy dude. He can just sit there and watch. All these dudes are extremely wealthy. But Greg's gonna have to put on the gloves and go in. And like I said, I don't even know. Are they not wearing gloves? Are we doing a UFC style here? I think we should, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, I think David Ellison versus Greg Peters, and then your David Zaslav. He's the host of it. Maybe Vince McMahon on WWF. He should be the announcer. I agree 100%. Laptop. Or actually, this would be even better, guys. Maybe like combined, because aren't these companies like almost combined or something? Like, didn't UFC and like the WWE, don't they like, aren't they all owned by the same company, or am I crazy? I have no idea. But anyway, maybe they just like join forces for this fight because it's going to be a good one, and like you have some kind of new fight where like it's like in the WW, like in a square ring instead of the octagon, but they use the rules for UFC. So it's an actual real fight in the wrestling ring. I think that would be pretty cool because you don't really see shit like that, and that would be pretty awesome. Greg Peters resembles Matt Damon right there, huh? Let me see. I forget what he looked like already. What this guy looked like? Greg Peters. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, you're right. He definitely did. You're absolutely right there. So we got to throw this together here. Greg Peters, David Ellison, and then we have our David Zaslav's going to be the announcer. Now, let me write him down as our announcer here. David Zaslav. He's the announcer. And then I think, and I guess Vince McMahon will help out David or something. I don't know how, or maybe David's like he's a judge, and I don't know. We'll have to figure out the rules for this thing, but I think that's how they have to figure it out. I don't think they can just sit here and have this kind of hostile takeover bid right here of Warner Brothers without David Ellison and Greg Peters just getting into a ring and battling it out. And whoever submits, well, that person loses. Your company loses the bid to Warner Brothers, and that's how we're gonna figure this one out. We're not gonna go to the courts. We're not gonna go to anybody. We're just gonna do this and handle this like gentlemen and do it old school, and that's that. So, can you imagine if business was handled like that, guys? How crazy would that be? It would be fun. I mean, it would be pretty interesting. You get pretty good ratings, I bet. But that's what we should. I'm going to tweet about it after the show, and we'll try to get this started. Guys, you got to tweet out the Coke scarf. I actually did that yesterday. I made the video and all for Coke scarf and all that good stuff, and that was great. I mean, we had fun with Coke scarf. I forgot all about it until just now, and we were doing this. So yeah, here, let me retweet out Coke scarf real quick. You guys can where did I do that at? Oh, here it is. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on one second. I'll undo it and then I'll do it again. There you go. All right, go ahead. You got to go post out the old Coke scarf and make sure you retweet that one because that was a good one last night as well. And so now tonight we got a good fight going on. It's going to be Greg Peters versus David Ellison. Ted Sardanos or Sardos, he's going to have to sit it out. Michael Anthony just joined us. How are you, Michael Anthony? And the Harry Potter and the crew are watching from Hogwarts. That's for sure. Laptop travel and your ABEO could go. Michael Anthony's right on his ABO and DLO. He just got back from last night's big thing next to Coke Scarf there. He was hanging out at the actual White House. Michael Anthony, he came back home, hopped on the show. He tuned in and he asked immediately about ABO and DLO right there. So there you go, Michael Anthony. And what are you even saying over here? Markets are red. That tomorrow will be a big red and B down day with B big correction with tech and AI overbought by Oracle earning big miss. There you go. And that's a big red flag for AI right there, and does not appear to cake. I know it won't actually. I looked too when I tried to. I actually hashtagged it and it won't come up. That's so funny. I'm like, wow, they won't even. I guess they have a rule against Coke Scarf because it says no results for Coke Scarf, and I definitely posted something, and so maybe if you guys repost it, maybe it'll start popping up there and it'll get some traction. But yeah, we will definitely be the very first ones that say it, that's for sure. So anyway, there you go. Kramer a fool telling people certain stocks going higher, that going lower instead of that old clown. There you go, Michael. Look at Michael Anthony dogging Kramer right there, his boy. Kramer show just got over. I take it. What stocks was he telling people that were going higher, Michael Anthony? Let's check these stocks out. I need to know what Kramer is telling people tonight. So please make a list real quick. And yeah, everybody, do me a favor. Go out. I just retweeted the Coke scarf thing, so it's like right there. And go ahead and repost it. Let's see if we can get it to even pop up on Twitter, because that would be great if you can. So no result. Yeah, that's what I did say. I know. I saw it too when I clicked on it yesterday. I forgot all about that. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's protecting you from potentially sensitive content. Coke scarf, huh? Who knew? What if we were just talking about like wrapping your Coca-Cola in your scarf or something? Wouldn't that be like perfectly Coke scarf too? I'm not sure, but yeah, tweet that out, everybody. Repost that thing and see if we can get that moving. That was hilarious. And you can watch the video at any time you want to too. So if you want to bookmark it, and then you can always have Coke scarf at your fingertips. And there you go with that. Nvidia is one, but will hit 174. That could bounce that levels. We were just looking at Nvidia, as a matter of fact, and as a matter of fact, 174 would probably be right. No, that's 155. So you're saying up here is what Michael. Well, I could see why you say that. It's actually sitting right on a support line right there, Michael Anthony. It's pretty interesting for Nvidia. I would take a look at that thing tomorrow and see what it really wants to do, but it does right there appear like it wants to come down. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I would have to keep an eye on the video, pull back in the after hours, as you can see, and we'll see if it does. And there you go. And let's see, a Coke scarf. There you go. Typically refers to a scarf featuring Coca-Cola branding, often red and white, used as promotional merchandise or sold as fan apparel. So there you go. See that? It's not even anything bad right there. A Coke scarf. And thank you, Laptop Travel. See, we shouldn't even be getting in trouble for that. That's for sure. And but yeah, you guys can go retweet the old video from yesterday. And yeah, look at that Coke scarf right there. See, that's awesome, dude. That's definitely a Coke scarf. So we have two different Coke scarves. We have the original one. This is the old school one. Coca-Cola's bear with a Coke scarf on it. You can check it out. I'll retweet it real quick. That's another Coke scarf right there. People are probably like, what are these maniacs talking about on this show? And anyway, so yeah, we stay pretty entertained and fascinated by things. Michael Anthony, I think you just missed, because since Netflix and Paramount are fighting for Warner Brothers, we decided that Greg Peters, the CEO of Netflix, and the CEO of Paramount, who is David Ellison, they're going to fight it out in a WWF ring, WWE ring. So they're going to fight, but they're not going to use like, not like this ain't going to be old school wrestling. This is going to be like real fighting, like UFC, like an octagon fight, but they're going to do it in a wrestling ring to make it even cooler. And then Vince McMahon's going to be like one of the announcers, and Ted's going to have to hang out and just watch this go down and hope for the best and hope that Greg can win, because whoever wins, their company gets to take Warner Brothers over. And then yeah, and they get to cash in, because Warner Brothers gets to host this bad boy on their network. So they'll make a fortune. And then whatever company wins, obviously gets to have Warner Brothers, so they'll get that big high ticket item off of their big win right there. So then the CEO, either Greg or David, whoever wins the fight, they can pay themselves a couple bucks for the big win and for winning, like being the badass and winning the company. So that's how we're going to handle business nowadays, Michael Anthony. What do you think about that? You like that idea right there? I kind of like it. I think it might work out pretty well. It'll definitely make these CEOs get in shape and be tough. That's for sure. It'll all be in UFC rings and doing jiu-jitsu and stuff. It would be great. These dudes will be hardcore. That's what we need to start doing, guys. Anyway, that both had gloves on at CNBC. That Netflix keeps failing. I don't even know what you just said, but anyway, um, I hope you like that idea there, Michael Anthony. I like the idea, and I think Zach liked the idea too. I don't know if everybody else did, but I think it's a great idea, and we can just handle business just like gentlemen can just go in a ring and handle it like that. We don't need court systems. We don't need lawyers. We don't need any of that bullshit anymore. Just put the guys in the ring, battle it out. They're both in good shape. They're both younger guys. They can handle the call. Let's put it that way. They can handle this thing, and let's do it. Let's put it together, and let's see who's going to win the rights to Warner Brothers. So I like it. Let's put this. Can I sponsor this thing? Dougie Fresh Picks is going to sponsor it. Warner Brothers is going to host it, and Trump obviously will want a piece of that action because he's buddy with David. Hey, Trump can sponsor it too. We can have all of Trump's companies on it too. Just Dougie Fresh will be the main sponsor because I thought of this idea. And there you go. Let's make this happen, everybody. So let me call Trump up and tell him to pardon Joe Exotic, and then let's put this damn thing together. And he could probably make a fortune on it. So there you go. Put Trump in there and let him do. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, we could put Trump in there. And then David Ellison could go in too, but I don't know because they probably wouldn't want to beat up Trump because that wouldn't work out. So yeah, it would be a wild one. But we'll just stick to our fight. Let Trump be a sponsor and I'll be a sponsor. And there you go. That'll be the two sponsors for this big fight. So everybody will see our logos and there'll be no question about it. It'll be in Warner Brothers will host it. They'll make a fortune. And Greg Peters versus David Ellison, guys. So I'm not sure. This could be a great New Year's Eve battle right here. I mean, could you imagine if we put this together for New Year's Eve this year? I mean, holy shit, I mean, everybody would have it on in their house. Like literally, it would break the records for everything. Nobody would watch the ball drop. They would just be watching this thing, and they could just have it like right at midnight when the ball's supposed to drop. They would just crush all the main networks. Ratings would just get smashed right through. It would just like crash out completely, and everybody would be watching this big fight on Warner Brothers. And they would have the ball drop right before it happened. They'd make like we'll make a ball, we'll have it drop, nothing crazy, and then all of a sudden that's how the fight starts. Oh, how brilliant is that right there, guys? I mean, holy shit! There you go. It should be held in the new $3.5 billion White House ballroom. Well, I don't think it's going to be built in time, but it would be a great idea. I'm not going to lie. Maybe we hold this right on the White House's lawn, and then we do the ball drop at midnight, and then it's an inaugural event. Oh, not an inaugural one. We got to have this now. I mean, these guys really want this company. Let's just. I say we do this as New Year's Eve out in the cold. Let these guys do it. I mean, this would be great. Put it at the White House. Do it somewhere. I don't even care. Now you probably need a stadium or something for this thing. But anyway, we got to make this happen. I mean, this is the way these guys got to figure out who's going to take over Warner Brothers. They two just have to fight it out and figure it out. But that's that. And we got we have the idea. And here, let's keep on cruising here. So there you go, Michael Anthony. I hope you enjoyed that as well. You keep hopping on, and we have so many cool things going on in this show. It's wild over here. But anyway, we were looking at Netflix. That's how we got on this rant. And it is way down right there. They can't be very happy about Paramount. And yeah, I mean, that would be a really good one, too. I mean, Greg Peters is super pissed right now. And then David Ellison's like, yo, I'm just going to knock this dude out and take over this company. And then these two are just going to be in a ring just beating the hell out of each other. And I still can't figure. Yeah, I don't think we have gloves. I don't know though. I don't think we do want it to last a little longer. I don't just want to see somebody get knocked out in 3 seconds. So maybe we do put some gloves on these guys just so they don't kill each other. And we actually have because I mean, if they don't have gloves on, like one of them could just catch one of them in the jaw, and that's a wrap. Like the fight's over immediately, and we just want to see a good match too. I mean, we definitely want to see who's going to win. But I want to see a good fight. I mean, if we're going to be putting this on pay-per-view and charging money, we better make it good. So I think they're going to have to wear some types of gloves or something, and just so they don't kill each other in 3 seconds. Anyway, that's just my take on it. We'll have to run this by Trump administration because he's the other sponsor. So I'll talk to Trump later, and we'll find out what he wants to do. How do you like that, guys? And there you go. So anyway, let's keep on cruising and get back to our list here. But Netflix down, AVGO looking pretty good there. MU was running up as well. We were talking. I had them on the night note, as a matter of fact. They were looking really good, and TSM is looking pretty good as well. So you have them three definitely cruising along right there for your momentum plays. AVGO, you have MU and TSM, and then your SMCI. That one pulled back a little bit today, but it is setting up. And then AMD is just kind of hanging out down there, but that's also getting set up as well. And then your QCOM, that's running up, and that looked really good. Wow, QCOM might continue to run up as well right there. So that one looking pretty good. QCOM. So you might want to keep that on your watch list. And let's see what else is going on. Snow is coming down, and look at that. It is still a blizzard down there. It's still coming down. They need a Coke sweater or Coke scarf out in this snowstorm right there. So there you go. With SNOW. I can't even spell snow, guys. I'm telling you, it's so crazy. Anyway, SNOW. If I read it, I can see it. But as soon as I turned around and looked, I was like, "How do I spell snow?" That's pretty funny. SNOW right there, and that is coming down. And it still looks like it's coming down a little bit. It's a blizzard out there. And PayPal right here is trying to get crawled back up. We do like that going into the end of the year, so definitely keep an eye on that. And there's your Intel, and that looks like it might have bottomed out a little bit. It was kind of pulling back just a hair, but it looks like it wants to roll up and go back up higher. And how about Dell? That looks pretty strong, and that looks like it could be a good momentum play right there. So you keep an eye on that one. But yeah, Intel looks like it's going to try to cruise back up. And then IBM was getting set back up. We were talking about it, and that looks really good. So keep an eye on IBM trying to run back up right there. And then you have your Palantir, and that was cruising along right there. Wasn't it running in the after hours yesterday? I kind of remember doing that yesterday. Or was it first thing this morning? I don't even remember to be honest with you, but it was looking pretty good. It was running up there, and then your Sophie right here. Let's look at that bad boy. It had the offering. It's getting set up. You can see it's just getting set up, and you might even have a little pullback. So just wait and see if it does get pulled back right there. And that is SOFI, and then your Mara and Riot right here. That's not Mara. This is, and that's not looking too bad. It's still hanging out on the 20. Riot was up a hair and looking pretty decent right there. And then your Clean Spark has still been up since the earnings, and it's just kind of hanging out up there as well. And then, of course, MicroStrategy just can't wait for Bitcoin to really get ripping. It's just kind of hopping around right there and trying to keep itself afloat. Let's just say that. Robinhood was down just a little bit. Coinbase was down a little as well. And then your Bull was down, but looking pretty decent there, I must say. But maybe it pulled back there. Yes, it did. Look at that. It was looking pretty good and then pulled back at the end of the day right there. So Bull did pull back. I forgot about that. We were looking at it. I totally forgot that happened. But anyway, there you go. Bull pulled back. We'll look at it tomorrow, see what's going on. And how about that space right here dipping down and probably going to hit that trend line. So keep an eye on that for a little bounce play. Boeing, a little bit of pullback as well. And then you have your DJT just getting set up. Michael Anthony, you getting back into that one? You were liking it before. Nike trying to run back up, and Lulu we were looking at was running pretty good and looking decent going into its earnings tomorrow. We'll be keeping an eye on Lulu. And of course, there's McDonald's, and it was just kind of hopping around right there. And let's see what Disney's up to. That's going up. We were talking about that looking better, huh? Luis Rodriguez. And there's your Oxy right there. And that's not looking bad for your oil and gas. And then your Exxon Mobil is looking pretty good right there. So there you go with the ones we like. And then DXYZ, of course, was flying up. And they have access to SpaceX right there. We did identify that bottom down there, and that was a good one. They do not have options. You would have had to buy shares in it. And there you go for DXYZ. So that's what the market looks like. Let's see which ones you want to see, guys, and then we'll take a look and see what else is going on. Let me see what's happening up here. That STKH. So we're definitely keeping an eye on that tomorrow from Laptop Travel. He said, watch this bad boy. Good old stakeholder right here. So keep your eyes on that thing tomorrow. And let's see, OCG is that Oriental Culture. Wow, look at this thing. That thing was running around pretty big, huh? The heck did this do? Ran up and then came straight down there. Wow, look at that profit taking reversed yesterday's retail fuel surge. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty wild one right there. Janica OCG. Let me take a look and see what it looks like over here for you. I mean, it doesn't even look too big. Look at a 20 and 50. It just looks crazy right there. I don't know. It's closed at 885. I guess I would look at that at 4 a.m. laptop travel and everybody and Janica. Check that OCG out. I'd have to look at it tomorrow to really get a good idea. But BBGI is at Beasley Broadcast, and I told you they have all these radio stations around me. I'm familiar with it. Look at that thing that got blasting off. What did they do today? I have no idea. They had to have done something to social media driven meme stock frenzy fueled by M&A speculation triggered that. So there you go. And I was going to say, I wouldn't imagine that they did anything crazy as Beasley Media Group, but look at that thing went up 300% right there. That's pretty crazy. And we were just talking about this thing not long ago, that BBGI. So that's interesting right there that it went nutty like that. And it's another one. It looks pretty good staying in the top there tomorrow, Janica. So definitely keep an eye on that one. Doge Mama 9. And there you go. And how are you tonight, Doge Mama 9? And let's see, Laptop Travel already has the overnight watch list in the Discord. That's pretty good right there. And a lot of action in them SPAC stocks. They are getting crazy. And like I said, that printed fish, STKH, we were talking about GRAN and Rocket Lab or Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Labs, but the Rocket Mortgage and JZXN. If you didn't hear about that one, it's going to have a reverse split tomorrow. And it started running up in the after hours. We were talking about it yesterday, as a matter of fact. I pointed it out as a reverse split coming up, AMC diluting. And then we were talking about our great big CEO fight right there. And it's going to be Greg Peters for Netflix and David Ellison for Paramount. And they're going to have that bad boy on Warner Brothers. And yeah, David Zaslav or whatever his name is, he could be the announcer with the dude from the Vince McMahon from the WWF, and it's going to be a great fight right there, guys. We got to make that happen, that's for sure. And let's see, well, Michael Anthony, we definitely have to look at your ABEO and your DLO, and let's see what's going on with them. ABEO, I should just add them to the list for you. Look at that thing running up. Michael Anthony was on the money. It is going to run up some more. That does look good. Could go to 2175, Michael Anthony saying for this thing. Holy cow, Michael Anthony, that'll be a big runner. And DLO, it closing right around 14, looking pretty good going up. So there you go. Market's red. That tomorrow will be a big red and B day with the big correction. We did talk about that in Oracle. And they did miss in the after hours, and it did pull back right there. Who was the other big one that had it? Adobe, right? Weren't they the other ones? And and that one wasn't too bad, I don't think. They beat estimates and something else, and I don't even know what the hell they did, to be honest with you. But anyway, there you go. Let's see. They look like they beat it all right there, but not too big, I don't think. I don't think they like crushed anything. But there you are with Adobe, DLO, ABEO, and all them guys right there. And let's see, Coke Scarf. So yeah, guys, make sure you go and retweet that post out for me so we can get that up there. So you can at least click on it, and people will be like, whoa, there's Coke Scarf. And we'll be the very first ones to ever write it up there. And we can have a claim to fame if it ever goes viral or gets important. So there you go. And so let's look at Lucid right here. Luis Rodriguez gave us that the other night. It was running up pretty nice and looks like it wants to run up some more. So you might want to keep an eye on good old Lucid right here. That is getting started early, I think. OXM could be a buy off of earning that will be a buy under 30. I don't know what OXM is, but it is Oxford Industries right here. And it is looking pretty decent right there, Michael Anthony. And whoa, what happened in the after hours? Hold on. It was looking pretty decent. We got to go back to this. It took a huge dip right there. Did they have earnings today? I'm guessing they did. They missed their earnings, I guess the EPS or something. That was looking way better over there, but that's a huge dip, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. And so yeah, that one's definitely dipping down for sure, Michael Anthony. So I'm guessing you like OXM right there. And let's see. Netflix is falling. It sure is. And we were talking about me and Trump are going to be the only sponsors for that event too. So you guys will see my Dougie Fresh logos all over on New Year's Eve when we have that big fight. It'll be great. And so yeah, there you go. And let me see is going on. Let me see what else is happening over here. Let me see. What do you think about Trump demanding 25% of NVIDIA sales for selling older AI chips to China? Grifting 101 for sure. I would say that. That's definitely. And let's see. And Michael Anthony said the big sell off tomorrow in the chip and AI and tech sectors will be saying, help, I'm falling and I can't get up. I love it, Michael Anthony. There you go. I like that. And the NASDAQ is down 161 points, but the markets will be down 800. So that's what Michael Anthony said. There you go. We gotta definitely highlight all of Michael Anthony's big things right there. He's usually pretty accurate lately, I must say. Michael Anthony's a little crazy, but he's definitely accurate. But then again, so am I. So maybe you got to be a little crazy, Michael Anthony, be a little accurate. S-bet looking really good right there, Luis Rodriguez. And let's see, no different than the drug turf wars. You want that big money contract for years to come. Let's see it. That's right, Zach. These guys got to fight it out like real gentlemen. If it's just like them drug turf wars and the gang members and stuff, let's just put these two dudes in the ring, and we'll see if Netflix or if Paramount's going to take the big one, which is obviously they want Warner Brothers, so they just got to go in there and fight it out. They better start training now. It's a short. And yeah, they only have like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get this on. So I think it would be a great New Year's Eve event. I think we could put it together in time and with no problem. Trump only needs like 3 weeks to make this happen, and we can be sponsors. And there you go. So anyway, Luis Rodriguez has a couple up here. CV right there, Capso Vision. Wow, look at that thing. That's like Capso running, I would say. Holy mackerel. That thing is running pretty big, 32% right there. Just be careful tomorrow, but it's still running up there. And Galaxy Payroll, this one was gapping up in the after hours right there. So keep an eye on that in the morning. And we've been talking about our JZXM. We were super early like yesterday. And BQ right here is having a barbecue with just one B, I guess. And that's a China one right there. And that looks like it's trying to jump up in the after hours as well. So there you go with your BQ. And yeah, that's not looking too bad for BQ right there. What's GEV doing here? I'm not sure. GE Vernova. I have no idea what that is, but it's up like $97. I mean, it's pretty expensive. I have no idea. What is it? It's a specialty industrial machinery or something. It says GE Verona or whatever the hell it's called, upgraded by both Oppenheimer, citing electrification and data center demand tailwinds after Investor Day, and by RBC Capital to outperform with a 761 price target. There you go, Michael Anthony. So if you like GEV right there, you can check that out. And let's look at SNDK. That's at SanDisk, and that's looking pretty good right there to get set up for SNDK. Luis Rodriguez, I definitely like that one. And you say Marvel right there, huh? MRVL, isn't that Marvel? I don't think that Marvell Technology right here. Let's say semiconductor one. And let's see. The shares rose after its CEO told CNBC on Wednesday that there's been no change in relationships with Amazon or Microsoft, pushing back on reports of lost custom AI chip orders. So there you go. They corrected that news real quick there, Michael Anthony, for MRVL. So that's interesting. You must have seen that on CNBC. And LKQ. What is that? LKQ, right? LKQ. whatever it is, it's running up there. It's an auto parts company. Stevens and Co. initiates LKQ with overweight and 39 price target right there. So that is rallying up as well. WDC. Let me see what WDC. That's at Western Digital. That one's been looking pretty good and running up right there. And your MOH has been running up as well. That healthcare plan. And that does look really good right there for MOH. You can keep an eye on that one. Could be a good one for tomorrow. And GEMI. They had some news. Oh, yeah, Space Station one today. And let's see, it was running up in the after hours. Capital Market Gemini Space Station says affiliate received some kind of license today, enabling launching of U.S. prediction markets. Oh, wow. With web trading to start shortly. Holy cow, where's that at? Gemini received some. We got to keep it. What the hell is Gemini, guys? I don't know, but we got to keep an eye on this GEMI. I know that. If they're doing that, that's a huge market right now. That's for sure. So there you go, Michael Anthony, a good one. Could you imagine if both companies spent big money on a fighter who they thought would be the best to win the contract and they had to fight them? Oh, that would be so great, Luis Rodriguez. We could make this a whole entire new sport. That's for sure. And REGN, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, running back up there, had dipped down that PAL Industries, and that looks really good. And that should continue to run up there tomorrow, POWL. And of course, that ASTS is looking pretty good as well. And that should continue to run up. That could be a really good one. The space team is a good one today. That is for sure. And let's see, Now was up today. And that was looking pretty good with Lowe's and Home Depot now looking pretty good to roll off and looks decent. And JNUG running up there looking good. So is NUG. That was popping up there. There's your silver right here. And there you go with that. So there you are with your gold and silver looking good. And we looked at our DXYZ, and that was looking pretty good as well, obviously, with the SpaceX connection. So there you go with that one. And let's see what else is going on over here. Let me see. Let's see what else is happening over here in this world. That's that one, and I'm just checking it out. Call it UFC Ultimate Corporate Fights. I like it. UCF instead. Yeah, I like that for big contracts and buyouts, Zach. I do like that for sure. UCF Ultimate Corporate Fights. We got to do that. The UCF. And we got to write that down. UCF Ultimate Corporate. I won't remember, that's for sure. Fights. That's really good there, Zach. I like it. That's what we're going to have to call it. Anyway, here we go. Best guess for bull is tax loss selling, yeah. And better for January effect, Kodak profit taking, I'm sure. Laptop, I knew you should have sold your Kodak calls for the 19th, but you still have a little time. And yeah, hopefully they do get ripping right there. And some bull calls for the 12th, though. And you got, I don't think laptop travel is going to be in New York City this Saturday. Laptop, are you still overseas? I think you're still overseas, as a matter of fact, dealing with all that troublesome stuff in the your house and everything. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure laptop travel will not be in New York City on Saturday, but I will be. And maybe Luis Rodriguez may make it, as a matter of fact. So, we'll see. I'll talk to Luis Rodriguez. Maybe we'll hop up there together because I'll be driving right by Lewis's house. I'll just pick them right up on the way. And Google's a big investor in SpaceX and have held their position for over a decade. Wow. And there you go. So there you go, everybody. I would say that is a good little market review after the rate cut today. So we did have our rate cut as expected. We do have a big fight coming up. Greg Peters versus David Ellison. They're going to duke it out to find out who's going to take over Warner Brothers. That's going to be awesome as well. And then Saturday night, we'll be in New York City, as a matter of fact. So there you go, Joseph Levy. I hope I get to see you. And Luis Rodriguez and anybody else that's living around there who wants to come hang out, go ahead. Feel free. If you're in the Discord, just RSVP in there or hit me up or whatever you want to do. But yeah, we're all meeting up, the Discorders. And I'm going to meet Ben and Rhett and everybody else. Joseph and Joseph Levy's going to probably be there, and so many other people. So it should be a good old time in New York City You'll be there, huh, Luis Rodriguez? Awesome. So I'll hit you up and we'll meet up, or we'll definitely we'll catch up before we go. Before you go, we'll go together. I already got my parking spot, so we're good, Luis Rodriguez. I already paid for that, so we got a parking spot in New York. That actually is probably cool, though. I must say, if one thing that technology helps out and is makes things a little cooler, trying to go park in New York City can be a little bit of hassle and a little stressful, I would say, because if you're not from around there and you don't know like all the little good spots to try to park, it's a nightmare in New York City. It's really hard to navigate. It's a crazy place to drive around, and yeah, it's wild. I'm not gonna lie. So the fact that you can actually like and to be honest with you, the parking garages, everything gets booked like complete, like you'll walk by and they're all reserved, like, or they're all sold out, and the prices are usually insane. It's usually like $70 for an hour or something crazy you'll see, or a half hour, I forget. It's bonkers, guys, I'm telling you, it's crazy. And so yeah, there's like this parking.com, and I hopped on there and I found a parking garage like just a couple blocks away. And honestly, it was pretty cheap. You put in your time, your license plate and all, and then it just tells you that you pay for it, and then tells you that you have a spot. So hopefully I really have a spot there, and it wasn't a scam. No, it should be good. And but yeah, it seems like you have to park, try to get your park. You can't, some of the hotels don't even have their own parking, and then the ones that do, they charge you for parking. So it's kind of crazy. You drive a smart car as a daily, so parking's no issue. There you go, deleted. Yeah, that's a good idea, honestly, especially in New York. And honestly, Joseph Levy, it was you can get lucky on the street. You can, but I'm not trying to drive around and figure that out, especially on a Saturday night, guys. That's a tough one right there. Right around Christmas time in New York City, um, you're pressing your luck. I'm not going to lie. Maybe you catch somebody or get lucky. Like you said, you could get lucky, but you're pressing your luck. Like I said, you're a Christmas time in the city. It is definitely crazy. Oh, well, you have a handicap placard. You definitely have something going for you there, Joseph Levy. That's for sure. So yeah, you might be able to find something. You might. So it actually wasn't expensive at all, Joseph Levy. It was like $40. I said that I'd get there at like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. I forget where. And then I said I'd leave at like 2 a.m. So you just put the time frame that you're gonna be getting in and getting out, and then yeah, it was like literally like $40. I actually couldn't believe it. I was like, that's pretty bizarre. I that's why I was like, am I getting scammed right now? Because I can't believe that this isn't $140, not just $40. So anyway, that's all it was. I was kind of impressed, but we'll see what happens when we get there. You never gotten a parking ticket yet with your placard, and yeah, with your war terrier on here. Yeah, that's true though. I'll agree. They definitely aren't going to really mess with you. You're a veteran, and you have the placard and everything. So the cops will give you a little break. I won't get a break. I know that. So that's for sure. You could probably find parking by Third Ave, but then you'd have to walk up a few blocks to the marquee. Yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to really fight the traffic and all kinds of chaos over there to drive around and look for a spot. I was like, you know what? If I can just pay $40 and get into a parking garage and I'm guaranteed to be able to get in, count me in, guys. That's like nothing. So yeah, that's literally like probably the cost of a drink in New York. I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, deleted. Are you gonna make it up there? That'd be cool. It's pretty cold too. So if you don't park too far. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely freezing out there. So I would say so. And yeah, that's for sure. You said if you're a cop, you charge me double. I think they do already, Joseph Levy. That's for sure. And parking is free at most metered zones after 9 p.m. Luis Rodriguez. Well, we might get there before, and like I said, I'm not worrying about $40 in the car being safe in a parking garage. So I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not gonna lie. And but yeah, it's and it was only a couple blocks away. It was a pretty short walk, so I plan on. I'll even wear like my thermals. I don't even care because I don't mind being warm. I don't like to be really cold, and it is cold in New York City when you got to walk like one block, one city block. holy shit, that wind could rip right through you. It's crazy. So yeah, I don't mind being warm, that's for sure. And so yeah, I will definitely dress appropriately to walk out in New York City. And it's kind of funny. Rhett's coming from Florida, and he has no idea. He had to like literally go buy like winter clothes. He has nothing, and he asked the other day. He's like, "Do I like need like clothes for it to be cold?" And we started cracking up. So anyway, there you go. Would be great, Madison Square Garden. Isn't that where the train takes you right in at Madison Square Garden, right? I usually take the train in, but the problem with the train is the last train out of New York is at like 11:30. So it's way too early to be completely honest with you. And so yeah, that wasn't even that couldn't work. And then I was just thinking about grabbing a room up there, all kinds of different things. And again, I'll just cruise up there, cruise back. It's not the end of the world. I don't drink, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just not a drinker, so I'll be perfectly fine, and I can stay awake and drive. That's for sure. There you go. Last train to come to Middletown is 9 p.m. Yeah, that's the problem with the train. You almost have to drive in because the trains get there or they stop way too early. That's for sure. Coming out of Penn Station, so. I just have to drive in, drive out, have a good time. So it'll be fun Saturday night. We'll have a good old time, and you'll get to meet us all. I never met Ben either, so I'll meet Ben and Rhett and everybody else. So looking forward to it. It'll be a good old time there. And let's see what these news stories say. Did we even go through them? I don't really remember. Oracle knocks stock, says Fed's message weighs on dollar and Asian stocks gain on Fed cut, NASDAQ futures drop. And the S&P NASDAQ futures lower as Oracle's result fail to stoke AI trade, I think it says foul, something. Anyway, I think it says fail to stoke AI trade. Stocks gain as Fed's final rate cut of 2025 bolsters case for early start to Santa Claus rally, and U.S. stock futures mixed after the Fed decision as Oracle sinks. So a lot of crazy stuff going on right there, that's for sure. Bryant's Park's Christmas market is very close. I'm not even sure what that even is, Luis Rodriguez, but maybe we'll have to check it out there. And I did see your message about that defense bill getting passed right there. Joseph Levy, so thank you for that info. And there you go, everybody. I would say that's a pretty fun market review. And we got a big fight to schedule right here. I guess I'm going to have to talk to Trump and get all the sponsorship stuff figured out and get this thing figured out, because we got Greg Peters, David Ellison. They got to duke it out to figure out who wants to take over Warner Brothers. That's how we got to handle business nowadays. And there you go. So that's how we're going to handle it. And that's how we do this show. And anyway, all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes. Definitely educational purposes only, too. And I guess it is informational, huh? And it's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. So there you go, everybody. Specifically about no restrictions on the Fed crypto. Yeah, it's pretty wild right there what you had posted out. I'll retweet it there, Joseph Levy, or I could even post it up there, but it was an interesting article. I did check that out as well. So there you go. Be sure to like and follow along, like the show, retweet that Coke scarf out. That's for sure. I want to see that thing. So when I click on it, it actually says Coke scarf on X, and that would be awesome. So make sure you go and do that. Like the show, do all that good stuff. And again, we'll be on at 7 a.m. to do our pre-market. It'll be a Thursday morning after the Fed rate cut. We'll see how the market opens up. We'll see if everything wants to go green, or if the Mag 7 kind of hanging out, going down from Oracle, or what's going to be happening. So it's going to be an interesting one in the morning, that's for sure. And we'll be all over it. And Laptop Travel will be all over the 4 a.m. Warriors in the Discord as well. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free. And if you're not in the Discord and you ever have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message on X about anything. I do respond to everybody. And thank you, Deleted, for hanging out. Always a great time for having you hang out as well. So thanks for chiming in and being a part of the show. And Joseph Levy, of course, and Luis Rodriguez, and Laptop Travel's always here, and Doge Mama 9, and Michael Anthony's always hanging out as well. So we always have a great crew, that's for sure. And then we always have Zach Robbins hanging out, And who else was on here earlier? Oh, Janica, of course. Janica is always on there. Doge Mama 9, Asian Joe Lee, everybody else that's tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. And of course, Michael Anthony, the futures are real red. You said I have to look now, Michael Anthony. Let's take a look at this and see what's going on. Let me hop on the Yahoo Finance app real quick. Give me 1 second, everybody, to pull that up and see. And thank you, Doge Mama 9, for hanging out. You are right, Michael Anthony. The S&Ps are down 0.52%. The Dow is down 0.16%, and the NASDAQ is down 0.85%. So you are absolutely right. The futures are real red, and I don't know if that's the way you always. Thank you for all your information. I don't know if that's the way you guys spell real, but that's the way I think that's what he was writing. But that's how Michael Anthony, he's so real. He spells real with 2 R's and no E. So remember that, guys. Thank you, Michael Anthony. You are the best, I'm telling you. And I know you're not that great at typing stuff, but that's kind of cool little saying. That should be your saying right there. You're like, yo, I am so real. I spell it with 2 R's and no E. I am Michael Anthony. And that should be your saying right there, Michael Anthony. So there you go. NASDAQ down over 217 right there. I knew you were saying real, but I think you got your new saying right there, Michael Anthony. How about that? Just so happens that's how people get their nicknames and their whole saying. And yeah, you are so real that you spell it with 2 R's and no E. You are Michael Anthony. There you go. So have a good night, everybody. You enjoy that. Enjoy the rest of your evening right there. No real big sports games on, just some hockey and basketball, but they have plenty of games on throughout the season, so nothing to really go crazy and cover. We'll have football, Thursday night football on tomorrow night, and I'm not even sure who's playing. I got to check that out and see. But there you go, and stocks rallied as the Fed signals rate pause, and they did cut the rates 0.25%. And industrials and materials lead the way as tech lags right there. And again, this thing is really cool. I'm not going to lie. That Daily Digest, they keep it pretty well updated, and it does give you some good update. Okay, 8:45 p.m. See, it updates it pretty often right there. So there you go, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that, and then everything else. So we'll be on at 7 a.m. with our pre-market show as usual. We do that show Monday through Fridays, and we do this show every Sunday night through Thursday night at 8 p.m. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Be sure to like the show and definitely retweet out the old Coke scarf there from last night. That was an interesting one. And then I'll make up a new video for tonight for Greg Peters, David Ellison, and we'll have to get them. What is this thing doing? I've already done it like twice. I can't. It keeps telling me for some reason they sent me a new credit card and I redid the information in there, and then it's just told me that it didn't work. I don't know. I have to look at that when I hop off of here. Something up with Norton or something. I have no idea what happened, but they definitely changed my card from the last one. I know I got a new one, and I updated the information, and it still said it didn't work. I have no idea why. So let me go on it. I probably typed the numbers in wrong. Knowing me, that is probably what happened, to be completely honest with you, because I thought it was working, and that thing just popped up. Unless it is working, I didn't read it, but I'm just assuming it said that it wasn't working. I didn't know why it wasn't working the other day, and then I looked, and I was like, oh, they did send me a new card, so I guess I got to update that information, because it didn't have like the 3 digits on the back just weren't there at all, and they were different. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe I typed in the other one. I have no idea what I did, so I have to go check and see what Norton wants from me. But anyway, you guys have a good night, and that is our market right there. So yeah, we all have the same issues in life. You can't even figure out how to pay for Norton and anything else. And yeah, welcome to my world there. So there you go, guys. We'll be on at 7 a.m. I'll go figure that out so that it works for the morning. And there you go. So we'll see you guys, and then we'll be on in Discord, and we'll see what's happening towards the end of the week. And can you believe that Christmas is 15 days away, guys? So hope you guys are getting ready for that. And if you are hiding your health, if you're hiding your if you're hiding your elf, make sure that you do it. I actually forgot to do it last night. Luckily, my wife did it this morning for me, because I have a note right next to me. I'm supposed to do it each night, and of course I forgot. So there you go, living my life right there. So go hide the damn elf somewhere, change the spot or whatever you got to do. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll be on at 7 a.m. and I'll see you guys then. So have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the morning.